Many were asking for it, and finally, Studio Trigger has delivered with the plot of Little Witch Academia. This, by far, is probably the most important episode of Little Witch Academia to date. There's so much world building, and in all honesty, it's an episode that might even require a rewatch for certain scenes just because of some key visuals that hint at what may happen in the future of the series. So, once again, if you're someone that's been on the fence about Little Witch Academia, not knowing if you're gonna love it, and you're like waiting like, should I start the series or whatever, this is the perfect way to let you know that if you're looking for plot or whatever, it's actually happening because of this latest episode. So, before I get into talking about the world building to the plot and all that, I just want to talk about Akko. Akko at the beginning of the episode and how much she has grown as a person. And, oh my god, like, I've said it already constantly, but I really appreciate how Akko continues to become a better witch by the episode, and through her constantly trying and struggling to become a better witch, she continuously gets better at magic. Even though she fucked up in the beginning of this episode with magic, she still is getting better at it. If you go back to the first episode, or even 4 episodes ago, she probably couldn't have done that. She really was bad at magic and could barely use it at all. She was struggling a lot. And just seeing how she carries that, and once again, she's just displaying more abilities, and she's being able to use different types of magic and all that, and she's getting better as she progresses and uses magic. It just proves that there is development going on behind the scenes. But it's not just that either. Also, later on in the episode, besides all the world building and plot, there is some really good character development for Akko, which I'm like, fuck yes. Fuck yes, Studio Trigger, that's what I wanted. I wanted some good Akko development, and that is exactly what I got with this episode. So thank you so much, Studio Trigger, for this episode, just for that alone. I'm not even talking about the world building and the plot. I'm just saying just that Akko development made me happy. Like, that really made me happy, just to see that alone. So, Akko, she goes and tries to figure out if her future is going to be a good future, if she's ever going to be able to live up to the standards that she wants and be like the next shiny chariot. That's what she wants. And so she goes into this passageway that only opens up every so often when a blue moon is out, which is the second full moon of a month. She goes there in this passage and she tries to seek guidance. And this is kind of like the second time that Akko has actually tried to seek guidance. And this time she actually kind of gets an answer and a chance at being able to get what she wants. But with everything, when it comes to obtaining certain things, it comes at a cost, which Akko finds out quickly because of what happens in this episode. So when she goes to seek guidance from this spirit, which looks like a tree, like roots and all that, she talks to the spirit and is like, hey, I want to know if I could be like Shiny Chariot. Is there a future for me? Do I have the potential to be a good witch? And eventually, the tree's like, here you go, this is your future. And you see Akko performing spells, magic, very similar to what Shiny Chariot was doing in the past. And the tree's like, you can walk in here, and you can obtain that. You can obtain what you want. But it comes at a cost. If you go in there, all of your past is gone. And what she means is that if you walk in there, everything is gone. All your memories, everything you're connected to in the past, all your friends, all your motives, everything will be gone, and you'll achieve what you want, but everything will be gone. And Akko stood up and said, like, no, I can't do this. I cannot throw everything away to achieve my goal, because if I did, I wouldn't be me anymore. The reason why I'm me is because I have fucked up a lot. I am a failure in a lot of things, and I need to go through a lot of trials and error to be able to become what I am right now. And Akko pretty much point blank stated, like, if I was to get rid of that and obtain my goal right then and there, everything she's already done would be pretty much meaningless. And so she was saying, like, I can't do that. I gotta carry on and move forward with what I have and not try to take the easy way out. I'll continue doing the hard path and become a better witch as I slowly learn how to use magic, which I really appreciate that from Akko's character. Just her actually stating that and letting us know she's not willing to throw everything away just to achieve her goal. She realizes that to get what she wants, she needs to put in a lot of effort. You're just not going to get it handed to you. You gotta have to put in that work to get what you want, and she realizes that, and she realizes even though it sucks that she gets picked on, it sucks that she's shitty at magic, and she's not as good as other witches and all that, she still realizes without all these problems that she faces, she would not eventually be able to be a great witch, and she realizes to be very cheap and bad if she decided to go down that route and actually choose the easy way out. Now, I don't truly believe if Akko would have went through there, she would have gotten the ability, because apparently it was just a test, according to what we found out from, Shiny Chariot, but also the teacher that is actually the sensei to Shiny Chariot. So because of that, I don't think Akko would have achieved what she wanted, but still the point was, it was a test. Akko truly believed deep in her heart, if she would have went in there, she would have forgotten or lost everything. So I do like, that entire scene. That was a really good scene for Akko's character development and showing us that she has matured and she realizes through constant mistakes, eventually a diamond could come out of, coal or something. Like, just polishing a bad, rough gem until it becomes very smooth and badass, which that is what Akko is doing. She is a diamond in the rough. So, well done, Studio Trigger, for that Akko development. Now, with that being said, let us talk about the world building. So, the world building, holy shit, holy shit. So, apparently, a long time ago, about 1600 years ago, in, Little Witch Academia timeline, 1600 years ago, it was an age of magic. You had to where these 9 grand witches came together to found Luna Nova, and the magic was insane at the time. There was just so much magic at the time, 1600 years ago, that, you didn't actually need the Sorcerer's Stone or any Sorcerer's Stone to be able to use magic, which implies that magic has degraded over the years. So we get a little bit of insight to what's probably going on with Luna Nova. Now, one of the big things that's been happening throughout, the episodes of Little Witch Academia is that there is a money problem for Luna Nova, but also there's less witches, and there's barely anyone wanting to enroll in the school. And we have, people like Akko that, can't use magic at all, wanting to be a witch, and they're hiring and letting anyone in that, could possibly want to learn magic, and that's what they're doing. They're opening the gate for anyone, which has caused the situation with Akko. Now, with this clarification about the past, how a long time ago, there used to be a lot of magic, and anyone could use magic without even using stones and stuff, it lets us know that witches have grown weaker over time. It's not just that there's less witches, it's just witches have grown weaker to where they have to rely on certain stones. Newer witches have to rely on this to be able to even access power. So it explains why someone like Akko is so bad at magic and why there's so many people that are bad at magic now in Little Witch Academia, the actual world. Because whatever problem is going on with the magic. Now, I'm personally assuming, I don't know if it's going to go down that path, but I'm assuming since we found out about this, grand magic or whatever that was sealed a very long time ago with these special words, which is connected to the shiny rod that Akko currently, holds, I'm assuming that grand magic, whatever was used, is probably what is taking all the magic away in the world. Why you can barely use magic around different places in the world, but also why witches are barely around anymore, because of whatever happened in the past. And we do get to see some brief glimpses at some form of major in-game boss enemy in this episode. We see these demonic looking creatures, we see a tower, we see this weird witch or whatever, which I'm going to assume that that is the reason why magic is just disappearing altogether and why there's barely any witches. It's because of whatever happened in the past, which is connected to Akko's shiny rod. So, besides all of that though, this is interesting because it correlates with Akko and why she is so bad at magic. Because since there's barely any magic now in the world, that would mean that witches are, shittier in this day and age. For instance, even if they had the potential to be a witch, they couldn't be a witch because just how magic is disappearing. So it explains why Akko is having so many problems with using magic. Probably because of the way the world has been constructed or how it's changed over all of these hundreds and hundreds of years. Makes a lot of sense now. It does, when you actually put that in perspective. So, Studio Trigger giving a lot of good world building with this episode, but also the in-game plot. It's not just a money problem anymore, it's a situation with the entire magic world now. Magic is disappearing. It's not just the fact that Luna Nova is not getting many people interested in magic, like there's barely anyone interested in magic. The fact is that magic is dying. It's literally dying. It's disappearing. It's going away. And when magic disappears, obviously, there can no longer be any witches. In which, since magic is disappearing, obviously, witches are weaker. They're not able to display their magic like they could 1600 years ago. This makes a lot of sense now, and it correlates with everything that's been going on. So once witches get their power back, and they're able to use magic, obviously, all around the world, people could use magic and be able to do many crazy things, which explains why maybe some parts of the world don't even know about witches or something, or they hear about them, but they never see magic because you can't do magic in these certain places around the world because it's drying up or disappearing. Really cool. I really like what is being set up here. Now, the main question is exactly what is the in-game boss? We see some form of creatures and stuff that's like demonic-looking creatures, like a minotaur and stuff like that. Looks like some form of goblins and stuff in this like little brief flashback, which we get to see from Akko. And I'm curious exactly what is happening here. Like, is the reason why the magic is weakening thanks to the seal or whatever? Or is whatever was sealed up, is it absorbing all the magic into it? That's what I'm assuming is happening here. Like, either the spell is just consuming so much magic just to keep it sealed, and that's what's happening to all the magic, or whatever's in that seal is absorbing the magic, and everything's just disappearing because of it. And if that is the case, holy shit, the in-game villain is probably going to be fucking insane. Gonna, like, be extremely powerful, so we'll see where it goes. Regardless, though, very good episode, especially with the details about the shiny rod. So apparently, Akko's rod, it has the, you know, the 7 stars on it and all that. And if you say these 7 different words, like the different words to unlock them, it actually unlocks the seal. And that's kind of what Akko needs to do. She needs to unlock the seal. And that's something that's been happening now because of what was said in this episode, what they're trying to accomplish. So Akko learning how to use magic, but also unlocking, you know, the seal, or, you know, displaying all the different words on the rod, it will eventually allow the in-game plot line to start beginning. So now we kind of got the plot. Akko needs to say the words, she needs to get better at magic, and then eventually whatever's happening with this great seal will be unlocked, and then the boss probably will pop out or something like that. So I'm kind of curious. I'm very curious to see what type of role Shiny Chariot is going to play in all this, and why did, you know, Shiny Chariot give up such a long time ago? Because clearly something happened with Shiny Chariot. Something definitely happened, because for Shiny Chariot to give up, change hair color and all that, not even say anything to Akko about her true identity, you know something happened. Something definitely happened that was not good. And so I'm kind of curious exactly what happened to her and why is she like this now, and why is Akko being the one to do it now instead of Shiny Chariot. A lot of questions I have because of the way this was done in this episode. So yeah, overall, wonderful episode. Can't wait to see where it's going to go next. I love you all so much. Please have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.